Welcome to Corporate Finance. This is your online instructor again, Diana Block. And I'm just making this video to go through some of the concepts related to currency exchange that we have been studying this week that you're going to need to be able to practice for the Module 4 assignment problems. And so I want to go ahead and just give you some examples of some things you may see in the module assignment. So if you haven't done the assignment yet, this will help you definitely get started. If you have completed it and you had trouble with it, this should clear it up for you. Any concerns that you may have had. So this problem that I'm going to look at here is just an example that I'm going to use to make sure we can do the currency exchange. And I'm pretty sure most of you can, because in the discussion area it didn't look like anyone had any trouble with that. But we'll go ahead and go through it. You may see a problem 3 in the module 4 problems that asks you to do an exchange like this. It'll give you some information. This is an example. Your problem, of course, will give you different information. But mine says that we know that the exchange rate is 0.65 euro to $1. So that's the given information. And we need to pay, or we need to exchange 500,000 euros. So we need to see basically how much dollars that is in order to pay someone 500,000 euros given this exchange rate. So in order to accomplish that, we're going to take the amount of euros and we're going to divide that, not question mark, divide that by the quantity of the euro conversion rate divided by the $1 US rate. So here's my formula. I've got the euros divided by, and then I got parentheses, so they'll do this calculation first, the euro to dollar exchange. So 0.65 divided by 1, and then I've got 500,000 divided by that answer. And so that ends up telling me that I have $769,230.77 in dollars that I'll need to pay in order to pay someone 500,000 euros. So that's just a simple conversion, and I'm sure you guys have done that due to what I'm seeing in the discussion. But you'll see a similar problem in the module 4 question 3. So I just wanted to go over it. Now here's another problem that you're going to see something very similar. This is going to be very similar to problem 4 in the module 4 application problems. So what you've got here is you're going to be given a list of cash flows. So that's what this is. This is cash flow period 1, period 2, 1, 2. I'm sorry, this starts off with period 0, of course. So that's the cash flow for period 0. Then you go to period 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are free cash flow amounts. So you don't need to calculate free cash flow. They've done that for you. Let me get back to my problem. Okay, so they calculated free cash flow for you. That's what's going on there. Then they're going to give you some additional information. You're told what the spot exchange rate is. So that is going to be that first part of the spot exchange rate is going to be given. They're also going to tell you what the risk-free rate for dollars is and what the risk-free rate for euros is. So using that information, you're going to have to determine the net present value of this project. So I'm suggesting you line up your information here. You've got your spot rate, your risk-free rate for dollars, risk-free rates for euros. Then you've got your cash flows lined up. This is just the same information that was up here, just getting it all in a table so that it's neat and ready. And so we need to calculate the expected spot rates. We've got the expected spot rate for year 0. That was given to us up here. And we need to calculate the expected spot rates for the future periods. Now, this information was in the reading that we did this week, and it's on page 715 of your textbook. So to calculate the future period expected spot rates, you're going to take 1 plus the dollar risk-free rate divided by 1 plus the foreign currency risk-free rate raised to the power of the number of periods, and then you multiply that solution times the current spot rate. So you're going to calculate each one of these spot rates by using the formula that's on page 715 of your textbook. So then once you have these expected spot rates, then all you have to do to calculate your free cash flows is to take the free cash flow for that period times the spot rate for that period, and you end up with the free cash flow. And you can just calculate those all the way down. You're going to be given the weighted average cost of capital in the problem. That information is going to be given. And so once you have, of course, the cash flows and you have the weighted average cost of capital and you have the initial investment information that's given, then all you will need to do to calculate NPV is just use the function. The initial cash flow is given here in year 0. You calculated all your cash flows. You can calculate the NPV and then determine whether or not this is an acceptable project. So this is going to be very similar to what you're going to do in problem 4 of the module 4 problems, and you will definitely want to refer to the formula in the textbook on page 715. That's going to save a lot of aggravation. So let's look at this last problem. It's going to be problem similar to problem 5 from your textbook. And as you can see, it's going to be very similar to problem 4. You're going to be given a spot rate, risk-free rates for the dollars, risk-free rates for the foreign currency. You're given cash flow information and the initial expected spot rate. And so you're going to use that formula on page 715. It's 1 plus the risk-free rate for dollars divided by 1 plus the risk-free rate for the foreign currency raised to the power of the period times the current spot rate. So that's how you'll calculate this entire column. But look at page 715 to make sure you're following that formula correctly. Then all you do is just multiply the free cash flows times the expected spot rate. You're given the weighted average cost of capital, and then all you have to do is use these cash flows to get the NPV. Use the NPV function, get the present value of these cash flows, then subtract the initial cash flow, and you're all set. You will have your problem all calculated out for you, and you'll have the module 4 problems done. If you have any questions though, go ahead and send me an email or give me a call. I can help you with this further if this doesn't give you enough information to finish this. I look forward to talking with you more in the discussion. Have a great weekend.